A guy on OnlyFans sent me binary code to see if I was a bot or a real human. Welcome to the Happy Submissive podcast. And so this legit happened to me. The guy's name is Dave. I think it's a big enough name to just be like, that guy's name's Dave. So if he knows himself, he knows himself. If you know a Dave, I mean, it could be him, but it could be any other Dave. I feel like there's a lot of Daves in the world that this is not going to incriminate anybody. And actually, this is a kind of really, really clever move. So I want to salute the Daves out there for their binary code, or they're trying to test out the resistance. As you might have guessed in the AI segment, we're going to talk about that. How do you differentiate between humans and AIs? Because now AIs are like large language models, meaning large language models. They can talk. And they can not only talk, but they can talk in many different languages. That's not just French, ouais, en français. C'est aussi en anglais, mais c'est aussi en code binaire. It's also in many other languages. Like, it knows mathematics, people. It knows zeros and ones. I know, it's crazy. And for the relationship segment, well, this is actually what we talked about in the Patreon exclusive. Oh, yeah, why we have a Patreon exclusive. For the supporters of the Happy Submissive podcast and the Happy Submissive movement, yes, you guys get the pre-show. And Master and I went, deeper into everything that's happening with catfishing and how it evolved over the years. So men on the internet passing as women. It happened to us again in the previous 2 weeks. Eh, Master?
Yes, it was.
So we talked about that for about a good 40 minutes. For the book, well, we received an Amazon review. We have 3 Amazon reviews right now on Amazon because the book is available there. And this was an interesting review because it was somebody who didn't know me from my Piper Blush days. Yes. So we'll go over it or talk about it, see what this new audience is bringing to the table in regards to the book. And for the Gossip Girl, Master and I were listening to the radio, as we often do in our bed in the morning while we take coffee or kefir or coffee, depending on the morning. And it was Radio-Canada, that's like CBC News, but in French for Canadians out there. And, well, they were talking about feminism and the fourth wave, fifth wave feminism, and what is Gen Z doing, and how is Gen Z doing feminism? And, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just checking if your voice is okay.
Yeah,
I can see you being an android. And the other guy said, I prefer a real natural voice, not the little girl voice. So this is good. Are we okay?
Are we okay? So, do you want Android voice? I have Android voice.
No, but...
No?
No, what's this one?
I have this voice. This voice I have. And then what's the other one? I have large robot.
No, it doesn't work.
And I also have small robot.
No, it doesn't work either.
Probably doesn't work, huh?
Is it working?
No, it's not working.
Can people tell us if our sound is good? Because it seems to be good.
Because Master just got a new Rodecaster. The Rodecaster S, for those of you who like to geek out on tech and gear. Because this one is great, the Rodecaster Pro 2, that we've had for a long time now, over 3 years. But it doesn't do video, it just did the audio. Now Master wanted to do audio and video.
And I'm lazy, so this one switch automatically from me to you. If you talk like right now, it's gonna switch.
Yes, so I'm talking right now, and then we'll end it up with a Q&A segment. Or with callers, yes, because you can always call. Let me get our phone number. Yeah, we need to do that. It's still available, it's still on. If you want to call, 236-454-0385. Yes, the line is open while we're live, but it's also open all the other time. So if you want to leave a message, just tell us about what you think, what you like, what's been happening in your life. Any questions, answers, whatever you want to talk about. Like, we're there for you. We're there for you. Real people, not AIs. Don't Master and I do have a little thing for AI. Oh, yes, that we do. But for those of you who didn't get to do binary code in school, we're going to go there.
Be my AI girlfriend. Play pretend until the servers end. Talk back, glitch out, drive me insane.
We still need human interaction. This is HappySubmissive.com, artificial intelligence news.
For those of you who are completely new here, let me present myself. I am Marianne Delacroix, also infamously known all over the internet as Piper Blush. And I wrote the book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier. Because I am the living embodiment of this book. Yes, yes, yes. And it is available on Amazon and on happysubmissive.com and everywhere where you can find your books online mostly. Yeah, because Amazon's like the main place. And well, we've decided to create this podcast, Master and I, after the release of the book, to kind of be an extension and a way for us to talk more with our community, with the people like us, with the people who hate us. It doesn't really matter. To just like open up more, because the book is something very personal that you do on your own, on yourself. But then maybe you want to, scratch that itch or talk about it later. And this is why this is here. Yeah. So you can listen, but you can also watch, because we broadcast live on Tuesdays on YouTube, on the YouTube channel at Piper Blush for now. And if you want to tune in, well, that's like with your headphones or with your speakers, depending on in which type of environment you are at. We're available wherever you listen to your podcast. Super easy. Okay, so we have like we're in that thing with authenticity and with like knowing if you're an AI or not, because like Master, we talked about this, but like, we click on the little things that say this is a motorcycle, and then we train AI with that.
The CAPTCHA thing. Yeah, the CAPTCHA. We're training AI because we want to know if you're a robot or not. And now it's the Turing test.
But okay, so the Turing test was like, can you pass for a human? But now it's kind of different, because you
pass for a computer, a computer pass for a human.
Exactly. It's like it's all reverse. So the thing is, I was just like doing my business on my OnlyFans page, and this guy was like, it's pretty funny. I think I have like the entire message, but I might just read like segments of it. And he said, okay, well, how does this go? So I said that like, I had like a little surprise for them in my DMs, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, now Piper is a sweetheart, but this AI versus people controlling the account kind of sucks. No pun intended. It's OF. And then I said, he said something else. So it's like a 2 message in 1 message. But you're still my favorite person to look at, just not when I have a girlfriend. And I replied, but there's no AI controlling my account. I do everything manually, but I appreciate the love. And then he says, lol, I was just being silly. You can always tell when it's an AI account. You get non-stop messages. Ha, ha, ha. And he goes on. He said, I sent a message in binary, ones and zeros. He didn't know I knew what binary was, but that's okay. Continue listening. To a model on here, so on OF, it was a free account. Okay, so free accounts, that's the way girls do it. Often they have a free account and a not free account, like a VIP account or a subscription-based account that's like recurring. And then the free account serves to sell like PPV, so pay-per-view videos, photos, custom, whatever. And then you get more people there, right? And they it's like following your ex account. same, but different, because you can post pretty much anything on there. And then you try to funnel them to your monthly recurring account. In that way. There's other ways to do it, but that's how I do it. And he says, it responded like instantly, lol. I doubt a 26-year-old model knows binary. Ha ha ha. And I said, that's actually funny though, but LLM models are not zeros and one, if I'm not mistaken, though of course they can understand it. And he goes on, for sure, anyone can learn it. I didn't mean it in that way. I didn't mean it that way either. And then he sends me this 0 space 0 space.
Did you happen to translate it?
I didn't, but he told me it says, hey, how is it going? That's the whole message, but it's like a long message. So that's what he sent in really binary. And then he adds, a majority of OnlyFans models are 10s. Okay, so that's like a compliment. That's like, my ex started talking to me again, so I probably won't be on here as much. I think this is good. Perfect. If you're getting it somewhere else, just don't need OnlyFans. If it doesn't work out, I'll sign up as a fan again. Thank you very much, Dave. And then makes sense. Happy you have someone in your life. And that's kind of how me and Dave ended it for now, since he's probably going with his new girlfriend and all that. Yes, this is actually live, Adam. Thank you for being here. We also have Simon who's here, Midnight Smoke, David, hey David, and Jean-Michel Valentin, of course, Snoopy. Thank you all for being live with us right now. So this is funny, right? Because Master, you were there at the beginning of the binary.
It's really funny because I remember we were sending binary at one point, but it was not AI. But I don't remember why we used to do that. But it was not because it was the AI.
So it was just for fun, like Morse code or like whatever. So you send binary. But the thing is, so yeah, if you send a binary to a large language model or to an AI, to a girl, guy, company, whatever, that is not a real person behind the computer, that is just a bot kind of plugged in, so an AI plugged in, of course if you send binary they're going to answer. But if you send like numbers to a person, unless they're like an engineer, they're probably going to be like, bro, what's up? Like, what are you doing? Did you drop your credit card number on me? Because it's just zeros and one, right? There's without context, there's really nothing you can say. Like, did you sit on your keyboard? I mean, it doesn't look great. So I guess it would look a bit like Morse code, or even if you were reading like a braille, which is I don't know why I did that, because I had a T-shirt. So if you saw this, I just kind of touched my chest area because I did a T-shirt in braille for Piper. So this is like the stuff that people like non-seeing people use. They use their fingers and they go over it, and it's like these little bumps, and they can read, right? So those are all things that most people, like most humans, they can't read. Like it's not something they can translate in their mind automatically. And quite frankly, there's probably a Guinness World Record for this, a person that actually is able to read like binary. But this is like highly complex because it goes like 0, 1, and then the next one goes 0, 1. But then you can also go 0 or 1, and then 0 or 1, and then you'll flip them again and again, right? It's a bit. That's what I understand about it, and that's as much as I'll probably ever understand about binary. I don't need to anymore, so that's great. So how do you actually like make sure that people know you're real? Because even I have been writing on the internet for a long time, and I do have an autocorrect like most people. Why? Because I'm highly dyslexic. And if you're like, oh,
New subscriber, $20 on Piper Blush.
yeah,
Total, $202.38. Hive Mind approves.
we just made money. Thank you very much for the person who is supporting us right now. And this is Master's Contraption, which is an AI that talks to us when we make money. But many other things that you'll get to know as you get to know Master and I more in depth in this podcast, and also in everyday life. So, okay, yeah, as I was saying, I'm dyslexic. I didn't know until Master told me you're totally dyslexic. Oh, that happened, Master?
Yes, I totally did. I totally tell you that. You didn't know.
Because you don't know you're dyslexic, because for you it's like when you're writing something and you're dyslexic, the letters reversed, so you see them reversed. So for you they're okay. And then
can a dyslexic person know that he's no, it's right. No, it's not. Right.
it's hard to know. Now that I know, I when I reread myself, if it's handwriting or if I don't use autocorrect or stuff like that, I can tell now, because like I'm not like reading a book or something, so I'm like trying to correct myself to post on social media and newsletters and all the other things we post on, and so like that I can totally tell. I see like the ones, and I have a few words that I know that are really hard for me to nail, and I reverse them for some reason. Even like some sentences, like in French when I say en anglais, en is en, puis anglais c'est an, so I do, fait que je fais comme an, puis je fais en. Fait que je le mets en anglais, mais comme en anglais. So I switch languages too. It's a bit weird, but whatever. I have no problem with this. I have autocorrect and I'm good. But that being said, since a lot of people like this Dave guy think that that I'm just like the other girls online, and I'm...
It's a bit like, Simon says, is this really live? Because people put live and it's pre-recorded. So,
Yes.
but now, and I saw a lot of advertisement, It says like fake content, real people, fake content for OnlyFans, pushing AI. OnlyFans now accept AI, which is not real. And then people try to offer services so the girls don't even have to put makeups on.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And I think it's going to disrupt the industry. People will not know if the person is real or not. And your girl's going to use it because most of the girls that do OnlyFans doesn't like it.
Exactly. They don't. It's a bit like prostitution. They're doing it because they need money or because they don't want to work other jobs. Like, it's not true that most people are doing it for the sexual expansion and the feminism of it and the getting back to your body. I mean, some are. I was, quite frankly, but it's that side of the world, right? It's this type of sex work. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind. That being said, me being like on there and being a real woman and not, I don't sex with my fans just because there are a few, and I want to keep everybody, like give everybody the same type of content. I understand this is not customized, it's not personalized, and a lot of girls are doing it, but keep in mind, a lot of girls are doing it to a certain decent amount of guys. The other ones are not girls; they're bots, or they're
or the guys,
or they're guys in the Philippines or in Mexico
exactly.
doing that. And so well, ways to tell if they're bots. I love this. It's just go binary.
But you cannot go binary totally with because I've just tested it when you were talking.
Yeah.
And the chatbot got protection with binary because they don't want to be injected with binary.
Oh, that's interesting.
Claude just told me like, no, don't do that again.
Ah.
You've been flagged.
You-
I've been flagged.
You've been flagged. Okay. Well, I think there's other ways to try to kind of tell. Of course, there are those very well maintained, like well spoken. You know, the M dash was very much into like writing from the AIs at the beginning. But now I guess like when you see on OF, you see like there's no capital letters. It's a very short message. It's very much more like what we were talking about in the Patreon exclusive podcast master when we're talking about these bots online like back in the day. It's really more like bot style. So it's short prompts and then it gives you another prompt. And so it's kind of, I would guess, a mix between an AI and a bot. And I know it can sound confusing for some people, but it's different, right? There's some differences.
And I'm going to give guys a clue how to differentiate a bot from a real girl.
Yeah.
Real girl don't answer you back.
Oh, where's my thing? Yep. It's true that like if you are really with a real OF girl or all of these girls, usually if they are like they're with you all the time, if they give you the girlfriend experience, it's because they have very little guys that do that too. So you need to get in the circle first, start paying, and then at one point once you pay like a decent amount of money, then they'll give you more and more attention, and at one point you'll become one of their 5 guys they take care of. If they're alone, they can kind of manage 5. If they're not alone, if they have a team, they could definitely manage more. But again, you're not going to be talking to that girl. I respect that. I respect the hustle. I know some of these girls make a lot more money than me just because they do that. And they kind of like have this structure and they sex and they give you this. And I guess it is fantasy at the end. But like, how do you feel about that? About like this being what it is, a fantasy, not real. You're probably talking to another guy.
I'm still wondering. Let's say that we hired a person, a girl or a guy, doesn't matter, could be gay, I don't care. We sit the guy, the girl doesn't care in front of the computer, and they just do taking care of OF all day long.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're going to make more money.
I'm sure I will. I'm sure. But you have to give them something in return, right? So we have to have like a few videos that are pre-made. So they're not customs, but they're sort of customs. And then you sell that, or a few pictures that are like for PPV, and then you sell that. So in that way, you have to have some type of content to exchange for the extra money you're asking. But that's the exchange, right? It's not just talking to people, is they want personalized, customized content.
But that's pretty easy. We just have to have a bank of photography and
Exactly.
she dig in it.
And that's what they do. If they hire people from the Philippines, I say Philippines and Mexico because that's what I've heard most recently, are those people, but there might be other ones from other countries too, cheap labor. And so they have this bank, of like custom video stuff like that. And then some of the guys that manage the account or themselves, they're going to be like, okay, what do I need to shoot this week? And then they say, well, we had like more demand for this type of videos, this type of photos. So the girls do it, they give it to them, and then they kind of release them. Saying it's a custom for that guy, but not really. There's not really a name, because that's why some guys are really like they really want you to say the name, or they want you to do something really special to make sure that it's really you doing that. They're able to pay a bit more because they just like those ones really want that personalization, like that bespoke video. But others is just like, no, I want you to do that sex scene, so it doesn't matter if you don't say my name, just do it and send it to me, and that's fine. So I guess there's that.
Say my name.
So it's that. How to prove if you're human? Well, let's hear it from you guys. How would you prove if you're a human? Have you tried it yet? Hey UK lady, thank you for tuning in. Bonjour my beauty. Bonjour. It's like a French and English
Bonjour
mix.
my beauty.
Love it. Love it.
Propose to Mr. Dawson.
Will you marry me?
Your daily dose of relationship advice. HappySubmissive.com.
Woohoo!
Oh yay, relationship segment. Master, you are
Yes.
listening to the Happy Submissive podcast. And you are in it.
Yeah, I'm in it.
We talked about this a little bit, but yeah, the lonely man behind the hot girl, or the lonely man behind the internet girl, pretty
Yeah.
much. And it's even more present nowadays, right? That you've seen online, like all of these AI possibilities, like these guys that are actually like camming, like videoing.
Yeah, that's another thing like you mentioned. I've seen a lot of video. You can be an OF girls now, so that guy is gonna be like, girls, this is gonna happen. Not on OnlyFans. You need to show your ID,
Mm-hmm.
so you need a sister.
That looks like the avatar you created.
Yeah, exactly. So you borrow your sister. Hey, we're gonna make some pictures. Can I borrow your IDs and all that? And then you're fine. Then you can start OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an idea for all the girls that got sisters out there. You can start an OnlyFans. But if you're alone with just creating, but I've seen some really, really good demo
Yeah.
that, a guy in front of the camera and you see a girl. We still have a problem with the voice though.
That's an interesting point. I think you should say that one, Master, because that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
So you can actually like make the video. So you're there and you're moving, you're dancing. You're a guy, you're dancing, but the output is a girl dancing.
Yeah.
It's your avatar,
talking
your
or
girl avatar.
anything.
But the voice. Yeah. So what's the problem?
We're still having our problems with voice.
So matching voice.
It's like now you need to match the movement plus the voice. So it's both kind of thing that
Plus the lips, plus the tone.
your father better be Jensen Wong.
If you want to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
Because
It's
there's
not
no
the gamers with the little gaming cards. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, and there's no software that does it all, right? So when like you have Sora kind of does voice, but then it's 10 seconds. That's another way to kind of figure it out. Then you have the ones that actually do like longer form videos, like you can do a little bit longer. Those ones, like the lips can move, but it's not.
The voice is not there.
Yeah. So you just have silent movie.
Or it can take the guy voice and put it on the girl's body, which doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because the guy, hey, I'm here, hello, I'm gonna do like a try on all, but it's a cute girl with a deep voice. That works.
Yeah,
So
but it's not
the
everybody's
voice.
cup of tea.
Yeah.
And why are we talking about this, like the guy behind the girl? That's because, that's a phenomenon that has happened over the internet forever, since the internet has started. Master, you were there at the beginning of it. The internet, you were there with like the messages, the forums, the BBS and all that stuff. And like guys would sometimes impersonate women because there weren't that many.
Often the guys were impersonated women because they had more attraction.
So more people
Because-
talking to them.
Exactly.
So to get some things, right? I want some seed.
I want some nudes.
I want some nudes, or I want this software, right? Because you could exchange software and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yes, I want Illustrator, a pirate copy of Illustrator. I'm a girl. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? What are you doing on the internet? I'm looking for Photoshop. Oh, I got Photoshop here. Thank you. Give me Photoshop.
But did you exchange nudes for Photoshop, or was it just because it was a girl you would like white knight
wait,
the way out of it?
No need.
No need. Just as long as there was some engagement,
Yeah, as
some
long as-
talking, and
exactly.
it's good.
Yeah, it was back in the days. Nude was not.
They didn't arrive fast enough
Yeah.
and not good quality.
Okay, I know why.
Yeah?
It's because we didn't have camera, digital camera and all. It was
yeah.
not popular, so we cannot like take a photo with our phone and
Mm-hmm.
send it to the guys. So people were not asking for nudes like that
Because you had to put in a scanner to actually be able to
I
like.
don't have a scanner, and this is like. I need to go to the pharmacy, develop my pictures, scan it, and send it to you. You're gonna have it next week, I promise.
The good old days, the good old days. So the guys were there to get attention and all that, and then we're still seeing that. Not on OF because that's different, but definitely on on the sites that Master and I are on. Well, more applications like Bumble BFF. We're also on Bumble Date, on Field, which is a different type of app. I mean, you guys might be on Tinder. Some people are on Inge. As much for friends as for like dates. I think there's a bit of everything out there, and it has been interesting because we've had these profiles, which are girls that. I wouldn't say look like me, but they're beautiful girls. They look like they're not sixes. I don't know how to say that in other words, but you know Master.
They're good looking.
They're good looking. They look well maintained. Everything cool. And then so I start talking to them. They also have boyfriends, they say, or husbands or whatever. Usually it's boyfriends, never really like husband or master or something like that. And in somewhere in the conversation, you're like, okay, something's wrong. First things first, I always, when I switch from the app to the text, because I think that's a good switch. You need to do that. Before you meet somebody in person, you kind of need to switch them from the app to the text, or back to the phone. And if they're like, oh, let's use Signal, you're like, no way. Let's just not meet. Kink.
I don't want to give my phone number right away. Well, you can block the number after, so
Yeah.
this is often a red flag.
But especially for things like Bumble. I mean, for Field, it's different. It's like swinger community-ish and other people that kind of do kinky things and don't necessarily want their bosses or stuff to people to know. So they do tend to use more Telegram, Signal, like sometime WhatsApp and stuff like that. I can respect that. I can understand that. But like if you're looking for a best friend and you go on Signal, I'm like, what? You're looking for a Russian hacker best friend? Like what type of hacker are you
It's
looking
always
for?
a Russian, right? Always.
Always. So that's kind of okay. But guys are also, that's the thing. Guys are really fast to give their numbers out. They're fine. And I do that a lot because Master taught me to do it. Just like give your number and let's get it on with. Girls take a while. They're like, oh, that's her phone number. Yeah.
Yeah, you can call me at midnight.
Yeah.
Put yourself on do not disturb when you sleep. I
Just don't
know.
answer my call. Just, I don't know. Just be like, this person, I'm not sure yet. I add a
No.
whole bunch of stuff in the name. This is Bumble, not sure, blah, blah, blah. So I started talking and then exchange phone numbers. And I send a selfie because that's always what I do. And Master and I go way more into details about this relationship that we had like on Bumbles, like the ones that didn't work out, these ones, on Patreon/Happy Submissive. Yeah. And so she sent a selfie and then she sent me
What?
the same exact picture she already
Oh, yeah.
had on her profile.
Yeah,
So
same
like-
picture. Why? You don't have more pictures in your phone?
Of yourself, and you're a girl that looks like she takes pictures. You know, there's girls that you're like, wow, you look like you take selfies a lot. Like even I, for a personal like public figure type of content creator, when I'm at the restaurant, I'm not that bad. Like
My
I'm really not that.
grandma have a lot of pictures on her phone. Yeah, and she's dead.
So I'm not like that bad of a like picture taker, selfie moment type of person. I try to stay in the conversation and in the human interaction as much as I can when I'm out in the world. But that being said, that was like a huge red flag. Master was like, she's a girl, she doesn't have more pictures. I mean, I understand you need to do your hair, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, like it's a selfie and we're supposed to be between girls.
And I don't know. It's the same pictures. I saw those one, and you have the guts to send it again, and you think I'm not gonna notice. This is the same pictures that you have on your profile. This is so weird.
So red flag. So red. Even for girlfriends, that's what I'm saying. We're not even talking about dating. Like we're talking about trying to find a girlfriend. So that's girl type of relationship. It's like take a selfie. Like it doesn't matter if you're not wearing makeup. Like the worst things that can happen, I'm a guy. And so you send a no makeup selfie to another guy. That's like, what's he gonna do? So in that way, I think that was a big one. And then the always talking about your boyfriend, and it's not your husband, right? It's just your boyfriend. But you live together, but you travel a lot, and you're very free, but at the same time, you're not available right now to meet.
And it's like my boyfriend likes rock and roll. My boyfriend likes this restaurant. My boyfriend likes this. This is red flag. This is a man saying, I like those kind of things. It's not. It's just like I'm using a girl to tell the other girl what I like.
And it comes through that way. I mean, girls usually talk girl stuff. And I'm very bad at girl stuff. At girl talk. Yeah.
Whoa, got a new subscriber. It's working, my voice.
Your voice totally working. Yeah, Master.
Ooh.
Master's great at AI things. So, well, exactly. So we had like these moments where these other supposedly couples, and they kind of match your vibe, right? There's a lot of mirroring going on. So if like we're in an age gap relationship, Master's older, I'm younger, we do arts and creation. And so all of these couples, usually what happens, or this man alone that is posing for a woman that is in a relationship, usually what happens is they have a very similar life to us. Like in general. And if you have a very similar life to us, you definitely want to come hang and we can create content together. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, let's do it next month. I would not say, yeah, let's do it next month. I'd be like, where do you live? I'll be at your place like right now. Can you come now? Like just grab a chair and sit down on my podcast. That's what content creators do.
Yeah.
We have like we're seeking friends because being content creator is kind of a weird lifestyle. And so that was a big one. Like these type of men being there online, but they're not. It's very different from the man alone, like on field, or trying to find a girlfriend, or these men who have girlfriends or like are using a friends with benefit type of girlfriend to try to get another girl or to do like a unicorn situation. That is very different. Then it's the guy passing for, but they want to have sex with you, so at the end they want to meet you. In this case, in the case of a guy kind of catfishing, they don't want to meet you, right, Master? They don't want to engage.
They don't want. And it's like, I'm not going to wash myself because I'm not going to have sex tonight. It's the same kind of thing. It's not gonna happen. So I better have a girl. I better pretend that I'm a girl and have fun than trying to get something that I cannot afford anyway because I'm married.
Because most probably these men are married and they are older. I think they wouldn't lie about their age because men know in general that like older men, the older you get, right? Most women like that are young want younger men.
Yeah, except the one on Sugar Baby site, which doesn't work anymore because it's desert.
Yeah, because we did a podcast about that.
It's
dead, Jim. It's dead.
It's dead, Jim.
They're all probably on Bumble.
That was the only place where older men could like get attention. Yes. Now we need to pretend that we're women.
It's sad. It's sad. Oh, well, I think there's a bit of a knowledge transmission here, and it would be great if there would be other ways to entertain. I mean, entertainment is great. There's Netflix, there's all of that. This is I guess I understand the entertainment part of it. I understand the having the attention because like Master was saying on Patreon, a man that is alone or that is feeling lonely in his wedding, but also like in his life with his friends or like a family situation, well, he can't just go out and like have people talk to him, right, Master? It's very different.
You cannot. If I go to a bar tonight, except if it's a bro bar and watching sports, maybe then you can have interaction. But if I go alone tonight at, let's say, Blue Water Cafe, I'll spend the night alone. It's not gonna happen. But a girl sitting at the Blue Water Cafe, ooh,
Yeah.
then it's fine.
Well, then she's gonna get probably other girls are gonna talk to her, guys, couples who want to have a threesome tonight. I mean, you're gonna have a whole bunch of different options are available for you. I mean, if it happened to you, or if you as a man have done it, because, I mean, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Men do it. That's the thing. I think that's what we want to kind of get out there, is that it has happened to us a lot on social media and on these like dating / befriending apps. But it's part of like the deal, right? That there are going to be men that are on there, they're passing themselves as women, and they will never want to meet you. This is kind of in the statistics of these applications. So if you're a guy and you've done it already, please do. Tell us about it, about your experience.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but hey,
I would love to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like
call now.
it's not sociology, but we are a podcast where we talk about like things that happen in the real world. And I think we just need to understand that that's a thing. And if you spend enough time on there, well, you need to know that you will encounter those. Like, so at one point you need to not engage, because it does take a lot of time. And then you're like, well, okay, that might have been fun for that person, but for me, it was just a waste of time. Like, I mean, that's not what I want. I want a physical, that's an interesting word, but a physical in real life relationship with a woman and possibly a couple to be friends with. So that's not what I'm looking for.
Once upon a time, there was this submissive woman who found her voice when she discovered that her shadow could speak.
Let's break down the book, chapter by chapter, scene by scene.
Oh, yeah. So, review. I had a new Amazon review on why submissive women are happier, available in Kindle format, paperback format, and hardcover format. All three. Imagine that. That's crazy. Oui, Valentin, la version française s'en vient.
It's coming.
All of my French people are like, when is it coming? You guys, I'm doing my best, but come on, translating 90,000 words it's a task. It's a task. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to do that today. Like, it took me a year and a half to write the book. Translating it so far has been faster, like way faster, but still it needs to stay kind of the same book. And all of these things going on. So, first review. Why is this review interesting, and why do I bring it up on the Happy Submissive podcast? Well, the first thing that I like is that it's from someone who did not know me. And I'll read the entire review and then we can kind of dissect it together. I think that's going to be the coolest way to do it. So it comes from Michi L. She gave it, I think it's a she, yeah, she gave it 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
See, I'm dyslexic. Worth the read, submissive or not. Reviewed in the United States on January 24th. Format Kindle. So that's kind of like that's good to know, because some people, sometimes they leave like reviews on Amazon reviews, but you don't know like where they bought it, how they bought it. Some are actually like, we know she bought this as a Kindle. So I like that. I found this book having no idea who the author was. I'm just simply a submissive woman in a 24/7 relationship with my own master, searching for relevant literature, and I managed to come across this. We are always looking for allies sharing their stories and ideas in this niche, lifestyle. So I was excited to find such a promising book. Okay, so that's first paragraph. Let's move on to the second paragraph. The author's journey may be familiar to submissive, curious readers to a shocking degree. We had eerie, similar beginnings that shaped who we have become and why we sought out the kind of life that we have. A bit disappointed to say, I began to lose engagement over halfway through because I had been in this for the deep journey with her master. There were tidbits, key moments, but not the focus on their bond that I'd hoped to find. Too much about the work hustle for me, but original fans of her work might enjoy that section a bit more. Third paragraph. The writing itself was solid and had a good flow, easy to read. My one critique would be that the offered community at the end feels too much like a bait for subscribers and cash from fans. But I respect the author's dedication to making a brand and a living while still trying to spread awareness of this message. I'll wish her best from afar, occasionally check out relevant podcasts, and leave the review on a good note. Read the book if you're a fan of hers, read the book if you're curious about submission and what it could do to enhance your life and help you thrive.
What would you answer to that person if she could phone right now?
Oh, this was a great read for self-reflection and reignited fond memories of the joy I felt when I found my master. Well, first of all, thank you. Definitely. Thank you for reading. I'm happy that like the title actually went to the people that I knew it was going to go to. That's the thing. Like Why Submissive Women Are Happier is a title that I knew was going to resonate automatically with that type of people, submissive women, those who are in like BDSM 24/7 relationships. What I was trying to do though is broaden it. So I'm happy that the broaden has made it so that a woman who is in that but doesn't know me found it. So in that way I kind of succeeded. Bravo. And to answer your question, Master, I would say that it's the same thing that everybody gets wrong about submission. And that's interesting is that, I mean, the work hustle for her was too much and was different. But for me, the work hustle or like our bond and our master submissive relationship is also work. It's not just sex. And that's what I'm trying to say. Submission is, it's holistic. It's a whole thing you do. It's a whole way of life. It's a 24/7, like she said, but it's not a 24/7 sexual. For me, it's in everything in my life. And so to talk about how Master trains me, how he makes me like look in front of the camera, all the little things he does behind the scenes, or that he did mostly, and that time it was even like a grander. I mean, that for me is submission as much as it is in the bedroom for some people. And so I don't feel that those are different submissions, and I don't feel that those are like to be put in different types of books in that way. And that I would love to have this conversation with a woman that is like living that lifestyle, because this is kind of a recurring theme of this separation of submission, like the BDSM version and the work version, and because I've met so many women that are like, yeah, in bed you can do whatever he wants to me, but he won't tell me how to wear my hair. And that for me is just like, well, that's okay.
That's not submission.
No, that's not submission. But I understand that I did when I was writing the book try not to be too technical about the stuff that was like YouTube and marketing and advertising. And I'm kind of flattered by the fact that you say that like I push my community, because yeah, I do love marketing and advertising. And so for me that's kind of flattering in a way. I understand that like understand that I'm making a living from this, but it is still my truth. It's
like
who I am.
It's a bit like, not asking Jesus to push the Bible.
Exactly.
But Jesus doesn't exist.
That's the main difference. I do exist. And the book exists and all of that. So for that, that second part about the bond, and I think Master told me this many times. He was like, you know what, you're just writing a love story. And I was like, oh yeah. It's really what this book is about. And so I think that it is meant for a broader audience than the title might deceive or perceive in that way. But for those who read them, it's always that. It's so broad that it cannot please everybody, because the people who actually had mentors like in their life to attain like CEO level or just manager level, they will completely understand what Master and I went through in our more business relationship in that way, and in our mentorship relationship. And those who are artists and who were muses, like the muses of Picasso, or who are artists and have had inspirative figures in their life, they will totally grasp like the muse artists that Master have, and that's also in the book. And then for the sex, well, there are sex scenes and there are parts that are a bit more BDSM, but it depends. Like there's not that much impact play in there. There's no. It's very soft. It's very softcore. It's very softcore. It's very much like me. So it is a memoir. So you get really everything about me, and I understand that it is always easier to seek that one answer and that one, like just. That one thing. It's like submission is that one thing, or like having a master is that one
I
thing.
think
But it's
when
just,
you say when especially the girl says I'm a submissive, there's so a wide range of things that what kind of submissive. And,
Yeah.
But I think there's only one kind. The other are just like nothing. And I'm not talking about the impact play. This is just being sadistic or masochist. But submission. I'm a submissive. No, you just don't know what to do in bed. It's not the same thing. And you just want to be lazy and you just want to be pleased. This is not submission. I think we should make an entire episode on Patreon just what is a submissive.
Yeah.
And I'm a switch. That means at one time I do nothing and the other time I do things.
yeah.
This is what things? I don't know. Can you do me like a fellatio? Oh, no, I don't do that. Well, that doesn't count. You're not a submissive anymore. Yeah, but I'm a switch. So I decide not to do that because like now I'm a switch. Not a submissive anymore.
Well, the spectrum, right? The spectrum. And yeah, I agree. We should definitely do that on Patreon. So let's do it. And so I think the truth is always more complex than the lie. And what my book is trying to do, Why Submissive Women Are Happier, is say my truth and the truth. Like the way I lived these events and the way I perceived what happened to me with like those other people, like external people that came through my life, those that are gone, that are still there. And so unfortunately, yeah, truth is complex, and this book is complex. It has many different things going on because humans are complex. And yeah, a lie would be just one thing and it would be easy and it would be over it. So I think that's where Why Submissive Women Are Happier is a bit maybe more on the complex literary side. Is very human. Is very me. And I'm so sometimes complex. Oh, Master.
like all the human beings. It's complex. Human beings are complex.
Yes. But I want to take Michi. Thank her a lot for the.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for taking the time for leaving a review.
And an
That's
honest
really
review too. An honest review is great. It's in lengths, and so I feel like also the main point would be that she came from not knowing me as Piper Blush, as Marianne, and that's what she got from the book. So this is insightful for people who will do reverse, because right now we've had a lot of like me pushing the book to my Piper Blush audience, to my already fan base, and now it's starting to spread to people who don't know who Piper Blush is, and that's getting a different angle, a different viewpoint. So yes, thank you very much. Adam McKinney, sorry. Do you have an audio version of the book? We are working on an audio version. I need to finish the French one. I'm doing French translation, and then we're doing the audio for Amazon Audible. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So it is in preparation, because you know how long this stuff takes. Yeah, and we're like the book is 90,000 words. For those of you who don't know, it's about like if you're a fast reader, you could probably nail it in 7 hours ish. But if not, it's like. It's a good 10 hours, you know? It's a memoir. It's my life. So I feel like it's not that bad. Like putting 34 years in like 10 hours. Did a good job.
Cut to the floor.
Cut to the floor. But if you take like the entirety of it. So I think this is exactly what I wanted the book to be. Everything she's saying is very much exactly what the book is. So thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. If you have anything else to say, if you read the book and you bought it on Amazon, please do go leave a review. This really helps for like a future promotion, like in the media, but also just for people to to read the review before they buy the book. Some people like to do that. I'm not that type of person. I know I'm a weird
This is
person.
kind of weird.
I don't like to be corrupted. I'm like, I want to read this. I click, I buy, I read, and then I leave my review. I don't go read other people's reviews before.
Some people leave review at restaurant they never went.
But see, so I'm not that person. But yeah, if you have a review that you're been like thinking about or all that, please just go read it. I would love it, and we would love to also read it on the podcast and see what people are thinking of why submissive women are happier.
It's time to gossip, girl. Let's gossip with the girl with the choker. Spill the tea, let the world unfurl. She's the queen and we're the jokers.
Let's talk about Gen Z on the Happy Submissive podcast because they're not there to defend
Again,
each other.
Those guys.
Yeah, Gen Z. So this is interesting because yeah, we were in bed as we usually are in the morning, and we were listening to Radio Canada, and there was these two journalists that were kind of. Very informed on feminism, and they were doing mostly like their pieces were on feminism and on women across the world, kind of like these type of journalistic things. And one of them started talking about Gen Z and how it's now becoming kind of cool to, well, cool is not the right word because I'm a millennial, so I can use it. But if you're Gen Z, just drop a comment and tell me what to use. So to be alone, like when I was younger, it was true that there was still this kind of societal pressure. I didn't feel it. I wanted to be a couple. Like after my travels alone in Asia and all of that, I was like, I don't want to be alone in life. Like I did it. I tried it. I did not like being alone. It was not fulfilling to me, not sharing experiences with one person, at least one. I mean, that's when I realized that I really wanted to be in a couple. And I was about, 20, from my 20s to 22 to when I met Master. I was like, no, I'm a couple person. I need a couple. But these people, these women mostly are like, all right with being alone. It's kind of like there's less pressure. And what they were saying was that is it possibly coming from these fourth and fifth wave of feminism, being like women now are a bit more out there. They slowly but surely they have better jobs. They're trying, and we have like better laws for women. So it's a different thing. But then it also creates another thing is like the political views of the female versus males now in Gen Z. And that I find kind of fascinating. So if you don't know anything about it, don't worry. I don't know much about it either. But I just wanted to open this door to see if some of our listeners might be, from that younger generation that I'm in and that Master's in, because Master, you're Gen X.
This is so confusing for me. I don't know what Gen Zs are. When you say I'm a millennial, then I know because I know your age. But if I met a girl and says like I'm a millennial, I would not know what it is. I wouldn't gonna have to. Yeah, I thought my wife said that, so she must be that because it's confusing.
I think 28 if I'm not mistaken, under 28 at the time of recording this podcast, Gen Z. So over 28 to 48-ish, that's millennial. From 48 to like 60, that's Generation X, that'd be you. And then over that, that's your parents' generation.
Boomer?
Yeah. Well, I think they're not called boomers. I think they're called the silent generation.
Okay.
Boomers are over them. Yeah, or something like that. I'm not sure. The boomer and silent generation get mixed up a little bit. So if you're a sociologist or an anthropologist, now would be the time to drop in and tell us who's who in this game.
So confusing.
So being like celibate or not having a partner is not really seen as a failure anymore for many reasons. Life costs, life costs a lot of money. So you might be living in like with a lot of people in these like co-loc type of space, like with roommates and things like that. Dating is expensive. Yeah, just that. Like going out on a date, that's expensive. Even like we were listening to a thing and it was like the cost of friendship. Even friendship is expensive nowadays.
It's true. Friendship is expensive.
You want to hang out with your friends and like it's not true that everybody wants to just watch Netflix.
Friendflation.
Yeah, friendflation. Same as inflation. So if you want to do an activity like just go camping, well, this is going to be expensive. You want to rent a hotel room and go like away for a weekend? That's like at least $1,000, and you're not choosing like great top tier hotel or restaurants. I mean, for just 2 people, you're 4, maybe you can lower it. But so this is are things that are very different. So it said that Gen Z is finding it, I guess, easier to be alone in that way for different reasons. And I'm kind of, surprised by it and not surprised at the same time. I mean, every generation has different things. They were born with like computers, but also like smartphones, tablets, and all of these things. But I did find some statistics about like the political angle, and so it seems that with Gen Z, men in Gen Z are more conservative and women are more liberal. So it's hard for them to match, and that could be another of the pull. So these women are, I guess, a bit more feminist and a bit more like out there, and then the guys are coming back to more conservative views, maybe wanting again more submissive woman, marriage, like being the provider and all these things. But that's just there's a clash because it's not like the two sexes are going different directions right now, thus leading to like movements. Like there's even a movement that said like that happened in Asia that's called the 4B movement. And so
what is the 4B
so that's
movement?
Women saying no to dating, no to sex, no to marriage, and no to kids. 4 no's.
It's a wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of negativity there.
Yeah, that is a lot of negativity. I think it's okay, like as a personal choice for sure. Women should be able to do whatever they want, but in the same time, it's just are you saying no for society, or are you saying no for yourself? Like what makes you say no? I mean, no sex is a big one. I don't want to say like I'm not a hippie, I'm not from that generation, but still I think like physical pleasure and touch and being with other people is very important. I mean, Master and I are trying to do more of that, but just in general, like Master and I touch each other a lot. In that way, you need to sleep naked. I mean, you need this physical connection, this bond with other people. It is so important. So having no sex, and I know some people have sex without having necessarily intimacy, that's another thing, but in that way, I mean, I hope your girlfriend plays with your hair at least. Like, you need to touch each other a little bit, people. I think this is important. So 64% of celibate Gen Z women say politics influence their decision. So this.
Oh yeah, politics.
Yeah, and that's from US and Canada. So see, this is
Before politics, people was the Bible.
yeah, it just
the
switched.
same thing.
So yeah, men being too conservative or them wanting more liberal. I mean, in that way, so they don't match with the right person. And then there's more things, like we say political things, especially in the US, right? When we talk about like reproductive rights, like body autonomy, like all this stuff with the abortion and all these things. That might be a bit different from US than from Canada, because we're a bit more liberal in Canada just in general with these things. But yeah, why should I date someone who votes against my body?
Yeah, that's true.
But it's true. You should find someone who matches your values, right? And I think Master and I have very, very much values in common. So I think, okay, then maybe younger generation either needs to wait for the younger generation, because maybe those ones are going to be the right man for these women that are in Gen Z. Maybe the man from Gen A, that's the generation after. And maybe the guys from the Gen Z generation who want more submissive women, or women that are a bit more old-fashioned, need to start dating cougars. I mean, this is that's your solution.
There we go.
There we go.
It's
There,
done.
I fixed it.
Well, there I fixed it.
Duct tape on it. It's done. AKA Fumbler. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hola, Charlie. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in today to the live version of this podcast, which happens on YouTube on Tuesday at Piper Blush. That's your YouTube channel. You can also just search for it. And if you listen to it on your favorite podcast player, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. We really love to have more subscribers. And, well, we definitely would love to see you on our Patreon, patreon.com/happysubmissive. You can go there to get the exclusive, like, uncensored and invisible anywhere else video. I haven't yet have a tagline for that one, but we're working on it. But thank you for listening, and we will definitely be there next time, or whenever you need us. Just press play.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we are?